We saw the SCA making that order that the state attorney needed to take all reasonable steps to recover the money from the former president spent on legal fees, and that was in 2021, and that hasn't happened. But what is the reason for that not having occurred?
You have independent advocates that have been appointed, and I think they cannot compromise their profession by accepting a brief and sleeping on the job. And that is why, in fact, I would rather rely on independent counsel insofar as that matter is concerned. I will get a further report before the end of September 2023, which is actually even sometime before the cutoff period of May 2024. But we will actually start seeing some movement insofar as that issue is concerned.
The Zuma and Myeni matters obviously got a lot of publicity because of allegations that certain of her assets could not be recovered by the sheriff. Have you got a solution in terms of that situation?
Look, I mean, we're talking about matters that have, are at having heightened public spectra to them, and of course the public would be interested in knowing what we do. Quite a lot of criticisms have been leveled at state attorneys for inaction, but it is attributable primarily to people that don't know what is happening behind the scenes. For example, when it first came out that state attorneys have been mandated to recover certain assets on behalf of one of the government departments against the prominent figure that you mentioned, the blame was state attorneys are not doing anything. They are sleeping on the job. No, they are not. They've done everything possible that legally could be done. But we also depend on other external service providers, such as the sheriff. And at one point, and for the longest of time, the sheriff has been saying that he's unable to hire premises to store goods that he might attach and remove from the named individual. We now have an assurance that indeed it is going to be possible. And again, I'm going to, in fact, look for a report before the end of September as well as to whether that has happened, because we're talking about public funds which must actually be recovered and paid back to the fiscus. So I'm told that there is plan B that the sheriff has now come up with, at the risk of us reporting him to the sheriff's board on the basis that, you know, you cannot actually raise issues every time that we request that you need to do an attachment. The state is as good a claimant as any other person. The Constitution applies to all of us, private and also the public. So I'm assured that it is actually going to be addressed.